about diversity and invasive species, and we're going to talk about what you can do to help again and work against invasive species, especially in your own backyard. And one of the main things that you can do is to just garden for wildlife. Plant native species that songbirds like, that insects like. Don't use pesticides, don't use herbicides. Just keep your garden and your lawn as wild as you can, because weeds are green, they're pretty, they look just as nice on your lawn, and native plants are what our native birds and insects are used to be eating and are supposed to be eating. And if you put invasive plants, I know they tend to be prettier, they grow a little bit faster, a little bit better, but they really do cause a lot of problems. And one of the great things you can do around your yard is to encourage snakes. Now, I know you probably don't like snakes. Some people say they don't want snakes, but snakes are amazing to have around. Snakes, one good-sized snake around your house will eat 100 mice in the summer. And especially a summer like this, I'd rather have one snake around my house than 100 mice. And garter snakes in your garden will eat all kinds of slugs and bugs that aren't good for your garden and for your plants. Now, today I brought one of my favorite snakes. And actually, I liked her so much, I named her after my granddaughter. So this is little Josie. And Josie is a hognose snake. Now, she's a western hognose snake, but there are eastern hognose snakes that will live not really right around here, but you'll find them just south, maybe Long Island, and down through New Jersey and along the East Coast. Now, hognose snakes are really cool in that if you look closely at her nose, you can see she has a little tiny turned up nose. And she's going to use that nose for digging. So obviously she's not going to use her hands for digging, right? And what they like to eat are toads. That's 90% of their diet is actually toads. And toads are going to spend most of their day buried down under the soil. So these guys will come out and eat toads. And you might think, oh, we love toads. And it's true, it's good to have toads around your garden. But if there was nothing eating toads, toads would be out of control in your garden. And so, they'd be eating the good bugs as well as the bad bugs. So it's, everything has, something that eats it. It's something that keeps it under control. And that's all about the balance of nature. You don't want one animal getting out of control. So the cool thing about hognose snakes is, if you can see Josie here, right? She's not a really big snake, but they think that they are the biggest, meanest, toughest thing going. And they're all about the bluff, kind of like the possum was. And if they feel threatened, what they're going to do is they will shake their tail in the leaves and sound like a rattlesnake. And they'll rear themselves up into that classic S shape like a cobra. They'll flatten their neck out, they'll puff themselves up, and they strike out. But all they actually do is hit you with a little turned up nose. They really very rarely ever bite. Now, they actually, because they like to eat toads, their fangs are in the back of their throat, not in the front. So they are slightly venomous, but their venom is actually more to counteract the toxin in a toad. Because I don't know if anybody's ever eaten a toad before, but they don't taste very good. They have a toxin on their skin that keeps them from eating. If anybody's ever seen their dog pick up a toad, the first thing they do is spit it out because of that toxin. And so hognose snakes are really one of the only things that can eat a toad. And their venom counteracts the toxin in a toad. And that's why they have those rear fangs. And toads, just like all of us, don't really want to be eaten. So what they're going to do is they puff themselves up, and they'll use their fangs to kind of pop the toads, so it makes it easy for them to swallow them down. Now, obviously, looking at Josie here, she's not going to eat those big mama toads that you find in your garden. They're going to eat more of the smaller toads that are around. They'll also eat some bugs, some small mice, things like that. Now, if her big bluff of being a big, mean, venomous snake doesn't work, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to flip themselves right over, cock their head to the side, let out a really bad smell, and pretend to be a dead, stinky, rotten snake. And a predator that's going to eat a live snake probably wouldn't want to eat a dead, stinky snake. So that works pretty good. In fact, if one's pretending to be dead and you turned it right side up, it would flip itself right back over like, no, I'm dead. So that's the really good defense for them. Now, you're probably not going to find hognose snake around your garden, but you're definitely going to have lots of garter snakes. And garter snakes, like we said, are really good to have around. So remember, when you are planting your garden or working outside, planning out your backyard, leave lots of brush and wild spaces for birds and insects to live. And if you see a garter snake, leave it alone, because it's doing really good things and it's helping your ecosystem and your environment. All right, well, thank you so much. Josie and I are going to move on and look for a toad.
Hi folks, welcome back to our last and final video. And another shout out, big thank you to the Charles R. Wood Foundation and to Stewart's Shops for sponsoring these programs. Normally we do this live with a bunch of kids, but because of the pandemic, we're able to video and bring this to you in a different kind of way. So today we're going to finish up. I've been making all these different art projects so that you can make a diorama. So this will be our visual journal today. First, I made another coffee filter, and this time I did put it over a piece of handprint paper, which you'll get in your kit, because it makes a nice monotype. Okay, and that's what you see, if you can see in the very background, I used this printing paper to put back there. It's light and bright. I also added my butterfly, some of my paper mache. I found some wood, some illustrations. I made a little spider. And another thing I want to show you is this tin emboss. So maybe I'll add this somehow. I'll join it up here. But tin embossing is really fun too. And this will be in your kit. So what you can do is, I don't know, it might be hard to see, but that's a close-up of a turtle. And I used a marker to color in and frame it in with this nice decorative edge. And all you do is you find a picture that you like, and you use a skewer, excuse me, and you outline, which I had already did, and you can press through and you'll see the embossing. And then you can finish connecting the lines, adding its eye, its claws, and then you can create an environment. You can draw some plants, and so on and so on. And then when you're all finished, make a nice border for it. You can color it in with markers. Okay, and then you can put holes in it, hang on it. What's really fun is you get another side. On the other side, it's really quite beautiful. Okay, so that's tin embossing, which will be in your kit. And you want to use, cardboard is really nice, or something, lots of pads of paper underneath to press down into. So that's that. The next cool thing I wanted to show you, oops, not that. That was not the cool thing I wanted to show you. But, oh well. This is really fun. This is drawing chalk. And I found I cut out some shapes, a frog, a bird, and a maple leaf, which is in trouble. Our maples are in question because of climate change. So I laid them down. I just put tape behind, and now I'm just going to go around with glue. I didn't glue the shapes down. I just put a little tape behind them, but I'm going to put glue everywhere else. Hopefully you can see this, okay? Get it all nice and sticky. And what I'm doing is emphasizing the figure ground with negative space. Then I'm just gonna take some chalk, and I brought a little grater. What I will do for you is you'll get a little pouch of this already smashed up, and you come and you sprinkle. Get another color, another color. And make sure you have something underneath that your parents won't get upset about, in case you get it where you probably they may not want it, like, right? Voila. And then hopefully, very carefully, I'm going to slide. You can reuse the chalk too, so spread it on something, and I'm hoping that the negative shapes are apparent, and if not, you can always retape it down and add a little more, or try it again, just do it again. If it doesn't work the first time, who cares? But yeah, it's starting to work. You can see the negative shapes of the frog, the leaf, and the bird. And then you can use it in your diorama somehow or some way. It's up to you. So this kind of wraps up our Blue Zoo. Thank you to Utica Zoo, to Sawyer Chase for doing the great videoing, and please do your best to take care of the environment and to share everything you learn with people you know. And stay curious, ask questions, and find your passion and love, and spread it around. Thank you.